And welcome back to the channel. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower, with a great story that I just came across with alien abduction being an increasingly reported phenomenon and occurrence, including people in my own family have reported such things, not me personally. But with alien abduction being such a growing phenomenon and a phenomenon that is has wide interest and is widely discussed in our paranormal and alternative energy genre, and I'm just loving the way it looks with these new lights so much. I wanted to do this video about a doctor who claims that he can prevent alien abductions. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower. Welcome back to the channel. And we're going to talk about a doctor using a methodology that he refers to as SIMBAD. Claims that he can prevent alien abductions. Now, first of all, SIMBAD is not the comic that we've probably heard of, Sinbad. Now, and I'm telling you, that brother did make a movie called Shazam, because I remember watching it. But at any rate, SIMBAD, doctor says that he can prevent alien abductions. I want you to subscribe. I want you to like. I want you to share. I want you to consider. And I got my first patron on my new Patreon account. Thank you so very much for that. You can share through PayPal. You can share through Patreon. And you can also share through purchasing things that you normally would maybe anyway through me. I'm going to start doing a lot more of that. I will be rolling those out and sharing those with you. But the spiffy knife that I showed, well, they're not offering that anymore. So darn, I should have got two of those things. But at any rate, we're trying to grow this channel. We're trying to get out on the road. We're trying to do some amazing things. And I could use your help. Look at the video that I did on tithing. If you don't think tithing works, just look at Joel Osteen's house. But of course, tithing is a slave system. It's a scam. It's a racket. But the point being, with all the good that tithe did, and with all the money we've given to bad causes, maybe kind of sort of you could consider maybe helping a brother out, doing maybe a little tithing or something like that to a good cause. But let's look at SIMBAD. Let's look at this doctor who claims that he can prevent alien abductions. So who is Dr. Corrado Malanga? He's a researcher and professor in organic chemistry. So, I mean, there's researchers, there's professors, and then there's organic chemistry. You're talking about guys that know math up one side and down another. And he has been studying, he works for the University of Pisa, that's in Italy, you know where the tower leans, and everybody wants to pretend they're pushing it back up. I've been there, it's a beautiful place. And he's been studying UFOs and aliens for 40 years. He's currently interested in matters concerning the alien abductions, which he studies through the use of regressive hypnosis and neuro-linguistic programming techniques. Now, I know that many of you have a very dull view of neuro-linguistic programming. It does get a whole lot of bad press. And I almost shudder to tell you this, but I myself am a certified master practitioner of neuro-linguistic programming. And some of you seem to think I'm a fairly good guy. Neuro-linguistic programming is nothing more than a set of techniques, a set of tools that can be used to facilitate enhanced communication, and I'm sure this is where this doctor's going with this, it can also be used to induce light trance states. It can be reduced to completely and almost totally remove traumas, especially when used in conjunction with EFT or emotional freedom technique, which is something I'm also a master practitioner of, although there's really no certifications for it. But when you use those things in combination, you can relieve any traumas, and it looks like, and I'm interested to see as we go through this study, if this doctor hasn't found a way to use NLP to get out of a stressful situation. Typically, NLP is used to make corrections and cure traumas from past situations or debilitating situations or practices, and also to anchor yourselves to positive and constructive ways of doing things and methodologies. And I can see where it could be, if you could learn some of those, I bet he's using anchoring to get yourself out of a abduction situation. And let me just say this, you don't have to believe in alien abduction as alien abduction to be willing and to help people understand and to be willing to listen to this, because it doesn't matter what it really is. If people think it's an alien abduction, then we still need to meet them and contextualize ourselves on their level, because I think that most of the things that people think are alien abductions are not. But it doesn't matter what I think, because if they think that ET's about ready to phone home and take them with them, then we have to deal with that situation and that belief right in real time. Look how good that background looks even with those lights. I'm very happy for the lights. I know I've been harping on them, but someone sent me a donation. We got the lights, so I'm sleeping very little. I'm doing polyphasic sleeping because it works for me and it gives me time to just really make a lot of stuff and get this information out there. Because folks, I can't help but think that time is short. Not that, you know, doom and gloom, but I think that we're on the brink of being able to do some amazing things. So I'm really putting the pedal to the metal. So anyway, Dr. Malanga, he received you know, blah blah blah. He's a really smart guy. He won a competition, and he's been a, you know, great guy. And he's focused his attention on the heterocyclic nature of chemistry, new organic complexes of nickel in organic synthesis, and new synthetic pathways to prepare natural compounds. I think that means he's talking about using nickel and other type of material and synthesizing them into organic or human systems. Now, the guy's published about 50 papers. He lectures in organic chemistry, and he is a very, very smart guy. Now, with his research and with his my phone's ringing in my ear, apologize. With his credibility, he says that he started many years ago studying UFOs as an amateur. He decided to join a national organization. Now he's on the board of directors. He's worked for this organization for several decades. And they went to look and study this thing, and that's when everything broke loose. And since 1992, Dr. Malanga has conducted studies on hundreds of people involved in alien abduction phenomenon. And again, whether they've really been involved in it or not, they believe they've been involved in it. And he uses, again, NLP. He uses mental simulations. He uses triad color test. And I mean, this guy is obviously a smart guy, and he's breaking it down to the scientific method, which I really enjoy and I really am happy to hear about. And he is even talking about the quantized nature of time. So this is obviously a guy that is thinking about this deeply. And he asked the eternal question to me, aliens or demons? The Fight for Eternal Life, a 500-page book. And again, we want to fight. Are they aliens? Are they demons? But in the final analysis, it doesn't really matter if we're talking about helping people avoid and get out of situations where they believe that they are facing one of these entities, whether they call it an alien or whether they call it a demon. And what the doctor is trying to do is make sure that it doesn't happen again. And he's trying to deal with the psychosomatic nature of abductions. And this is new to me. I didn't hear about this before. He says that alien memories are being implanted into the subject's brains, and that they're also being hypnotized. And it has allowed them to gain a huge quantity of fresh data on alien races and their purposes. So, very interesting that the aliens are implanting in the subject's brains, not only like we think of chips and things of that nature. But for some reason, the aliens are implanting in their subjects' brains information. And it seems like huge quantities of data. And it's information that is allowing the doctor to learn more about alien races and their purposes. And, I sit here and I think in a kind of a dichotomous way. If you're a person that believes that there are some aliens out there or some spiritual entities, disembodied spiritual entities that do have our best in mind, that do want to be hopeful or helpful, then you could argue that these downloads into subjects' brains, which are yielding information, may be put there to help us understand these alien races, to help us understand their purposes. Now, as a researcher, and folks, again, I've got almost 40 years in this stuff. I just turned 54, and I've been doing it since I was 17. That's a long time. And I've been dealing from day one with demonic / alien / interdimensional, whatever you call it, disembodied entities. And yet, in spite of all the things I've seen, and in spite of all the things I've heard, in spite of hearing people from one end of the Soviet Union to the other end of the Soviet Union saying that Pentecostal Christians are disappearing, they're being taken away by entities in crafts, despite hearing many sad and frightening stories, I can't dismiss the possibility that there are some of these beings, be they alien or be they what are described as demons, just disembodied spiritual entities. And if you come up in a Christian type of a scenario, and I mean the United States of America, and most of the people that listen to us, are under the Western Christian dogma, and that means if it ain't from our church, it's a demon. Demon, demon, demon. It's a demon. Of course, I'm being facetious because they're not really demons. That's my point. But it is possible that these aliens, if they are truly extraterrestrial, and if they are truly intergalactic in nature, or if they are interdimensional in nature, or if they're just disembodied spirits, it is possible. I can't dismiss the possibility that they might actually there might be some of them that some of the time are trying to help us. Now, at the same time, I would encourage you to use tremendous caution. And I also have a methodology that I think know from field testing from many people that it has proven to be very successful in preventing not only alien abduction, but in preventing and freeing you from demonic, i.e. unbalanced entity messing with you. So I'm interested to see what the Dr. Malanga's methodology entails. And here's the thing. If you get a visit from some type of an entity, and it looks like it's going the route of some type of an abduction or some type of an examination, just interesting that one of the people I'm very close to in my family just recently shared with me that they had a what they called an alien abduction, and this is a person that's not given to this type of thing. And this person, I won't tell you a sex because I don't want you to start guessing. And there's many of you that know me. But this person said that they were immobilized. This person said that they were lifted out of their bed and taken to what they perceived to be a craft, and that they looked around and noticed that they were in a foreign location, and that it appeared to be metallic, appeared to be, of a military ship type design, and this person is a person that would understand military design. And this is a person with an advanced degree. In fact, multiple advanced degrees. So we're not talking about a dummy or someone given to fancy. This is probably one of the more grounded people that I've ever met in my life. But at any rate, this person says that they did subject them to examinations. They did not feel any pain. They did not feel any fear. They did not feel any dread. And they felt like the beings were benevolent, curious, and even though they did violate this person's rights and take this person away, this person was comfortable at all times, and this person was returned safely to their bed without incident, and has a very positive understanding and a very positive, reaction and reflection on the scenario. So again, pardon me, and it's probably my Christian background makes me want to say, demons out, demons, demons. But it is possible that they are trying to communicate to us. It is possible that they're trying to download information to us that is beneficial, but it's a long way from what I'm saying to channeling stuff from the Pleiadians through Uranus and saying that we're going to live our life by what these bird people, blue people, green people, intergalactic council, Xenu, Borg, Jabba the Hutts are saying. There's a lot of room between what I'm allowing for the possibility. And here's the thing. If it were to happen to me, and it never will, it never does, because I seem to be 10 feet tall and bulletproof in spiritual things, and I'm glad of that. And maybe that's because that is my intention and my belief. And we should talk about that sometime, intention and belief in the spiritual realm. But if I were to ever get into one of these type of situations, I would employ my own offensive spiritual weaponry of the hue, and I would probably also employ Dr. Malanga's procedure if I deem it to be passing my blink test, because what's the worst thing that can happen? If you do it and they're not bad, then they're probably just going to roll their eyes and say, okay, this person is scared, but at least they're smart enough to realize that we could be nefarious, so we'll let them go through their stuff and see that we're okay. But at any rate, I enjoy it when people make things empirical, when they make things objective, when they make things that it's not all emotional. He talks about techniques that are used to subjugate both by aliens and by the military, which again I like because he notices that it could be both. And he thinks some of them are colluding with aliens to obtain their own goals. And this goes back to what we were talking about just a couple days ago with the final false flag and astral holographic technology, and why we need to learn about this stuff and know about this stuff and understand about this stuff. And again, I love it when a plan comes together because we're able to bring this information together. And he's talking about the military colluding with aliens, and the Lord could very well leverage that towards his own nefarious means. Now, Dr. Malanga is talking about a new interpretation of the alien abduction phenomenon. Of course, I totally forget the Bullard's, Bullard and Nyman. Nyman and Bullard are the standards now, standard understandings and the standard dealings with alien abduction. So Dr. Malanga is proposing an advancement, a change on the interpretation beyond Bullard and Nyman. And he's talking about level 1 being surgical operations, level 2 memories implanted into abducted peoples, level 3 cloning, and level 4 attempt to move the light dots matrix or consciousness of the abducted person and put it into an alien body. Wow. Wow, now we're getting into some stuff that's like pretty doggone interesting and maybe even a bit frightening. So Dr. Malonga has found in his studies surgical operations. Yeah, that's old news. We know that, right? We've all watched the X-Files. We've all watched some of these movies. The alien memories implanted in the brain, I guess that has been part and parcel of some of the benevolent alien scholars and people that say, oh, I got a download from Uranus, or I got a download from the the Pleiades, the Pleiadians. I don't know why that sometimes tongue ties me. Cloning of abducted people, attempting to take your consciousness, your soul, and put it into an alien body. Now that gets back to where you can really see the Lord getting involved in this. And then different kinds of incorporeal aliens made up by light, which he's calling Lux, coming from another dimension, are the ones who control all the other aliens. So, wow, I guess you've got alien hitmen coming from alien godfathers to abduct, to implant, to clone, and even to abduct the soul. It's one thing to abduct the body, but I guess they're even trying to abduct the soul now. In the opinion of Dr. Malonga, now this really starts getting interesting when you start thinking about all those possibilities. Wow. I didn't know this was going to be such a in-depth program. We might have to break it into two parts. I know some people, I get some people, Jeff, I love your long programs. And some people, Jeff, why do you make such long programs? And it just goes to show you can't please everybody all the time. So let's just press on. And Dr. Malonga says he deals with what he calls the true nature of man, differentiating the body, the physical components, with the mind, spirit, soul, the conscious components. Do you understand how groundbreaking that is for a man of science? An organic chemist of all people, a very numbers guy. He's a number cruncher. He's a bean counter. He wants to see A plus B equals C. He doesn't want to go for la la love and light. He's not a woo woo guy. But he's saying and realizing the true nature of man, and it is the true nature of man. We are body, but we're really mind, soul, spirit. We are spiritual beings inhabiting a physical body. I am convinced of it. And I think most of you are too. And to see this doctor of organic chemistry being able to make those judgments and arrive at those conclusions, obviously by empirical scientific method, is very encouraging to me. And I also like a guy that can admit when he makes a mistake. So Dr. Malonga says that I realized that while studying the aliens, I made a serious methodological mistake. And that doesn't have to do with smoking meth. That means that your procedure broke down. It doesn't mean he was, went to Breaking Bad and was like, and then messed up, because it wasn't that kind of methodological. It was a breakdown in his process. And this is stunning right here. And this gets back to the whole thing that we were talking about yesterday with the UFO religions, about the coalescence or the coincidence or the intermingling of alien, extraterrestrial, and human civilization. He says, I realize that I can't study aliens without knowing how we ourselves are made. And again, a scientist is saying that. Is he proposing common origins? Pretty soon I understand that the aliens were looking for in us something they didn't have. Something which we didn't know we had. Something that makes many men an integral part of consciousness. So it looks like he's saying that, and unfortunately, I think that's the end of it. It looks like he's saying that the aliens are looking for souls, that they don't have souls, and that they might be trying to take ours. And to think about it, if you take a soul out of a body, put it into another body, guess what you got? You got an empty body that you can put another soul into. So this again goes back to our I Frankenstein, we Frankenstein video. And now you would sit there and would think that, man, isn't Jeff smart? Isn't Jeff brilliant that he's got like 3 weeks of videos all lined up and how he works them all out and how they all fit together? It doesn't happen like that. Right now, I'm on a huge informational download, not from aliens, but from, you could say, extraterrestrials, because the inexpressible one, the divine, is not terrestrial, to be certain of that. And I'm getting it, I'm processing it, I'm running it through the filters, and then I'm putting it out to you. So even though it is coming together and meshing together in incredibly intricate and amazing synchronicity, I wish I could look you in the eye and say, yeah, I'm that good. I plan this all out. I work it all out. Aren't I a smooth operator? But alas, it is not true. But yet, it is all coming together. And of course, you know that I love it when a plan comes together. But I want to look at this Simbad. The Simbad is the first method to protect yourself from abductions. And it can be done on your own, and it doesn't need the help of an expert operator. And I absolutely love that, because one of the things that are my pet peeves is when you have practitioners, be they spiritual practitioners of any type of thing, where they want you to keep coming back to them and keep paying them money. And my point has always been, if you're good enough at what you do, you should be able to teach anybody to do it within 3 to 6 months, so they don't have to come back and be a slave to you. You're not trying to build a residual income stream. You're trying to build whole people, and then you go help some other people that aren't whole to get whole. So it is a repeatable income stream, but it's changing the people that you're helping every 6 months. Shame on you if you have people coming to you week after week after week, month after month after month, year after year after year. You're not very good at what you do, and you're probably too focused on money. But that's none of my business. So Simbad can be learned on your own, does not need the help of an expert, and Simbad is involved. He first called it dynamic TCT, or the trad color test. That needed the help of an operator, so they do recommend it. But at the moment, there exist only operators in Italy, Romania, and Argentina. So if you don't live in one of those places, you could be in trouble. But the method is introduced to break the problem of abduction. But how could a simple mental exercise have such a profound effect? It's like me. How could such a simple tonality like the hue have such an effect? And if you don't know what the hue is, I don't have a very good sense of tone. I'm not a singer, but whenever you get involved with some type of a entity that's bothering you, whether you think it's alien, whether you think it's a demon, whether you think it's a fallen angel, whether you think it's interdimensional, all you have to do is do the hue. Hue. Boy, my voice is tore up. Hue. You can go online and find Hue at 432. My throat is just, it doesn't hurt, but it's worn out. And by doing that hue, it creates a tonality, it creates a frequency that makes it impossible for these unbalanced entities to remain there. They either have to come back into balance, which is what we want, or they have to flee. So it doesn't surprise me that a simple mental exercise could have such an effect, because a simple physical exercise like the hue is so effective. And it's the most effective thing that I've seen for people to do on their own in the field. So forget how lousy I did the hue, but just do the You know you're doing it right when it starts vibrating like in your third eye area. And anything unbalanced can't stay in that frequency and in that tonality. So there you go. Some people think it's just a prayer. Someone thinks it's just a placebo, but the fact is that it works. Doesn't work real well at the beginning, but you have to learn it, and you have to continue to do it, and you have to practice it with mental stimulation, which is very interesting. And what you're doing is breaking your mental, really shielding your mental faculties from being the object of an alien's interest. How fascinating is that? A mental exercise that you can drop into or focus on that would make you of less interest to the alien's desires. That's fascinating. The hue would make the alien leave or make the alien, the unbalanced entity, come into balance, whereas Simbad, if for some reason you can't do the hue or if they get through the hue, you can use Simbad as a fallback to make your mental faculties, to make your, write down a little note, to make your spiritual, just maybe, is it shutting yourself off spiritually? Is it making you less than desirable spiritually? But spirit, mind, soul, mind, and spirit are presented with precise physical boundaries, colors, shapes, and then we get into auras, which is something I'm very into. People who do the exercises realize and begin to operate outside their own will, making incredible and immediate results. In the same environment we're made to get in any alien, and even these were beginning to move in this theater and seem to be totally imaginary. If the exercise was done correctly, those who had actually been taken by forces alien to this planet recognized at a conscious level in the forms and intentions, and thus eliminated mentally. The subject was beginning to heal and soon had no more problems exogenous to the planet. So it's almost like removing these type of ties. One would have at first thought that the alien problem had never existed, that by a trick of the mind it was easily removed because it never existed. But in reality, the exercise is based upon the precise mixing of three techniques. He says transcendental meditation, Costin's theory of virtual images, of psychodrama, and Moreno. And it represents far more than a simple mental exercise. Wow, so you've got him coming at this from a highly technical, medical methodology that does include some spirituality. Who knows what we're going to find here on the Simbad? And this is what Simbad means. Self-induced method for blocking abductions definitively. So we are blocking. We are blocking. And he says some people have been able to stop abductions in only 2 months. It could take less time or more time. It allows you to interact with your own energetic components, to make your mind stronger and to close the door on the aliens close the door the aliens use to abduct you. Do you remember? This is so fascinating. We're talking about the astral holographic technology where they use your door. They use your ability to leave your body and leverage it to pull you into their dimension. I swear I didn't know about this. So here's this doctor from Italy, and here's this crazy nut from Clearwater, Florida, that learned about this in Central America, finding synchronicity, because the only, again, wow, this is amazing to me, because if you listen to the, I can't remember what video it was where we talked about the, was it about the, I think it was about the UFO religions. we've been doing so much they tend to run together. They're all really good. So aliens kind of are allergic to our atmosphere. And the energetic expense needed to come from their realm to our realm is so great that they really can't do it. And even if they could, they can't live here. So what they're doing is, through what I called astral holographic technology, they're making you think that they're coming to your realm, our realm, but they're really taking you to theirs. And that's exactly what this doctor's saying. That these doctors are using the doors of your spirit. They're using you getting out of your body to bring you into their realm. So he's even saying, and this is a doctor, it's one thing when a crazy ex-Pentecostal evangelist with a Bible college degree and an associate's degree in archaeology and anthropology and geography says it. And that's not totally to be dismissed. But when a doctor of organic chemistry starts talking about it, well, then you've got something else to consider. And it allows you to be in contact with your energetic components, make your mind stronger, and close that door that the aliens use to abduct you. This will work great in conjunction with the hue. Using Simbad, you can perceive any alien presence. And if they are there, you will not get scared. And you'll remember that this is the first step to eliminate the alien influences from your life. Eliminate fear. How often do I talk to you about eliminating fear? I love this doctor. Note that alien visits could intensify for a short period when you start the process of liberation because they can feel you slipping away. Makes perfect sense. Don't mind. Don't hesitate. They can't take you anymore. They'll just have a look and say goodbye to another one. That's so brilliant. It's like, I never robbed no houses, but I'm just thinking that if I did rob some houses, I'd be walking down the street and I could see this house has got a security system sign in the front yard. Well, maybe they're just messing with me. So then I go look on the windows. Oh yeah, they got their contacts. They got a security system. But the next 6 houses don't have security systems. So why would I mess with that one house with a security system? I've always been interested in security systems. Why would I mess with one house that has a security system when none of the rest of them have it? And that's what Dr. Malonga's saying. They will know that you are shielding yourself. They will hear the hue, or they'll know that you're shielding yourself. They'll say, you know what, we'll just go find somebody else. It is very interesting that thousands of people in Italy have used this. And the Simbad is the first method to protect yourself from abductions. Well, it's not really the first method. We got the hue. But what it allows you to do is follow this process right here. Should we go through what the process is? That's a long process. We're already 38 minutes into this. What do you think? Well, let's go through real quickly through the process. What do you say? So if you want to go through the Simbad, or the self-induced method for blocking abductions definitively, you know what? We're not going to go through it. We're 38 minutes in. I'm going to make a separate video, part 2, of the actual Simbad method. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower. This is truly groundbreaking information. This is truly big-time liberation information. This is truly great stuff for you. And you know what? Let's just go for it. What do you say? So how do you do the Simbad? You sit or lay down as comfortably as possible with your eyes closed where nothing can disturb you. Imagine being the anchor man of a TV show, the anchor woman. Make a picture of the studio and the table around you. So he's using even great visualization techniques. I can tell he is an NLP guy. Take time to imagine, build your studio. Imagine where you are. Imagine the place that you are. Imagine that you're in a studio. And as soon as you're ready to start your process, look straight into the camera, which is now turned on, and say something like this. I haven't read this, and I already think it's absolutely brilliant. So you look into the camera and you say something like this: ladies and gentlemen, this evening we're discussing a very interesting issue to debate about. The subject of the talk show is the aliens and myself. In order to talk about this, we've invited some guests that we are about to request to come in. Let's welcome in my soul, my mind, and my spirit. Yay! Come on in. Welcome to the show, my soul. Welcome to the show, my mind. Welcome to the show, my spirit. We are going to do this in a separate video because this is just too good. So look for the next video soon. The Simbad, the Aliens and Myself show. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower, helping you to unwind your mind and helping you to unindoctrinate yourself.